She was like, yeah, turn these lights on.
Makes us look better.
That's what she said.
Okay.
They're bright, though. They're hella bright.
Yeah. Got thrown up. I forgot to put on my headphones.
Can I get one of those too?
You want to just use this one?
Yes.
Oh, we're on.
We are?
Mm-hmm. Wait. You don't see me, Kim? Kim is saying she doesn't see. Hold on 1 second. So who let me in? Are you in? Oh, yeah. I see KBLA and I see me. Okay. All right, so we're good. Good morning. Okay, we're ready. Good morning, good morning, good morning, KBLA family. You are on with the Black Lives Matter crew. For This Is Not a Drill, we're broadcasting live from KBLA Talk 1580 right here on Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles. Of course, we're also simulcasting. So if you want to see us as well as hear us, you can log on to facebook.com/BLMLA. Of course, the best way to listen is through the KBLA app. Download it to your phone. I say that, I've been saying that every single Saturday for 4.5 years now. I don't know what you're waiting on if you don't have the app on your phone. It's the best way to listen. My name is Melina Abdullah. I'm professor of Pan-African Studies at Cal State LA's College of Ethnic Studies. I'm a social justice unionist with the California Faculty Association, co-founder of Black Lives Matter Los Angeles and Black Lives Matter Grassroots, which is the real Black Lives Matter. We're a collection of 52 chapters all around the world, and we do work where we have chapters and also where we don't have chapters. We rise up on behalf of the people to make Black Lives Matter. Most importantly, I am Tandiwe Amara and Amen's mama, and I'm also Justice, Legacy, and Freedom's godmama.
Yes, you are.
And I'm here with, I called her my baby mama. I'm here with my baby mama, the mother of my godchildren. Lamika Castillo is joining in studio. She is a member, an organizer with Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, who initiated our Reimagined Child Safety Coalition. She's also a policy consultant and organizer, and just a wonderful overall human being. Sometimes you hear her voice on Dominique DePrima's show, First Things First. And I'm grateful to be greeted by your smiling face this morning, Sister Lamika.
I'm honored to be here, and always a pleasure to be in studio with you, Melina. So thank you for having me today.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining us for This Is Not a Drill on KBLA Talk 1580 every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. We're bringing to you on-the-ground updates, campaigns, news, challenges, and victories from the front lines. Before we get into it, we're going to do what we always do, which is ground ourselves with our land, labor, and life acknowledgement. We recognize that this country was built on the stolen land of indigenous people by the stolen labor and lives of our African ancestors. And we were off air last week as some of us, I call it Black People Eat Day. Some of us had gatherings, and it's really important as we gather, whether you acknowledge Thanksgiving or not, or Thanks-taking or not, that we always uplift the original stewards of this land. We are on their land. We're on stolen land, especially as this white supremacist fascist regime plagues the planet and plagues this country and pretends as if they have some right to stolen land, if they have some right to harass. I don't know if everybody read about an indigenous actress who was actually swept up in an ice raid, just ahead of Thanksgiving. Talk about hypocrisy. Talk about injustice. How dare you grab up the stolen a person who's been the indigenous steward of the land, grab her up and act like she's illegal when it's actually you who are illegal. So during Thanksgiving especially, but always, we uplift the indigenous people of this land. So I invite you to ground yourselves, put your feet on the ground if you can, and of course don't do it if you're driving. Hands in your lap, palms up, and let's take a deep breath in. And breathe out. This land which we inhabit, in what is now known as Los Angeles, is physically situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Tongva, Quiche, Chumash, and Gabrielino people. We pay respect to the Tongva, Quiche, Chumash, Gabrielino, and all indigenous people, past, present, and future, in their continuing presence in the homeland and throughout their historical diaspora. Take another deep breath in and breathe out. We pay homage to those who were stolen from Africa, placed in bondage, falsely named as chattel, and forced into labor, who were called slaves but never submitted as such, who've always been fully human with an unbroken connection to the divine and to each other. We honor our African ancestors for the still unpaid labor which built what is now the Americas. Take another deep breath in and breathe out. To both our indigenous and African forebears, we commit to the continued struggle for liberation and reparations, for it is only through freedom and justice that we truly give honor. Ashe.
Ashe.
And so on today's show, we'll be in conversation with someone I've been really looking forward to talking with. That's Jamal Ibn Mumia, and he is the son of Mumia Abu Jamal. As we wish a peaceful journey to Imam Jamil Alameen, as we recognize the incredible contributions of Mama Sada Shakur, as we lift up names like Dr. Matulu Shakur and Baba Sekou Odinga and Rochelle McGee, we remember that we still have political prisoners in this country. One of the most life-changing reads I've ever had was in graduate school when I read Mumia Abu Jamal's Live from Death Row. And Mumia Abu Jamal is still in prison, still in a Pennsylvania prison, still there, still accused of something that he absolutely didn't do. Still evidence is being hidden, and still we have to fight to free Mumia. And so we'll be in conversation with his son, Jamal Ibn Mumia, for our main discussion. And Jamal Ibn Mumia will be here in Los Angeles. We get the honor of hosting him at the Center for Black Power. That's Black Lives Matter Los Angeles home right here in Leimert Park. On Tuesday night, we're going to host a conversation with Jamal Ibn Mumia about his father and what we can do to fight to free Mumia. That's Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and he'll be in conversation with us on this show. We'll also be in conversation with the brothers of Frank Tyson. Frank Tyson was 53 years old when he was murdered by police in Ohio. Some of you remember seeing the body cam footage that came out. Frank Tyson had come into a mostly white bar and was tackled to the ground by police. He was handcuffed. He was asking people to help him, and instead he was killed by police in Ohio as he said those famous words, with which George Floyd said, with which Eric Garner also said, "I can't breathe," and he was killed. So we'll be in conversation with his brother, Melvin Tyson, about Frank Tyson, and we'll also talk about the case that's moving forward, because there is a criminal case moving forward against the murderers of Frank Tyson. And of course, before we get into any of that, we'll get into lots of headlines. We got lots of headlines. We want them hurriedly type during our break. And Lamika's going to bring us back and talk through these headlines. Of course, you're always welcome into the conversation. Our phone number is 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We're going to tell you what's been happening, but also what's coming up. And we look forward to having you hop in the combo right here on This Is Not a Drill.
More of BLM's This Is Not a
Forgot to
Drill
put
up
on
next.
there
We've got a lot to talk about.
Trump.
If your appliances can't handle the holiday hosting heat, December deal drops at Lowe's makes upgrading easy. Get up to 35% off select major appliances, and rewards members save an additional $40 on the Whirlpool electric range and the over-the-range microwave. Plus, get up to 60% off select ladders, so you can deck all the halls. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/10. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness, so you can smell unstoppable.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Celebrate the soul of the holidays and support Altadena and Pasadena. Join us on Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, a joyful night of Motor City soul, gospel, and holiday classics featuring an 18-piece band, all-star vocalist, and community choirs, all in support of the Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund. This performance comes at a pivotal time for many in Altadena and Pasadena. This is their first holiday season since the devastating Altadena Eden Canyon fire, which destroyed homes and community spaces. While the physical losses are immense, the power of community remains, and your attendance directly supports recovery, resilience, and renewal. So, be sure to join us Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, benefiting survivors of the Altadena Eden Canyon fire. For ticket information, just log on to tickets@thewallace.org. That's tickets@thewallace.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580 and the Black Freedom Fund.
You're listening to BLM's This Is Not a Drill. Now, back to the conversation.
He's got that magic. The way he touches me is so spiritual.
My name is Melina Abdullah, and you're listening to This Is Not a Drill on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm honored and blessed and joyful to be in conversation and in studio with one of my favorite people on the planet, Lamika Castillo, who is co-hosting today. What headlines we got this week?
We got a lot of talk about this week.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, it's a busy season, and we're going to kick it off with Black Xmas. So it is Black Xmas season. This is when we focus on buying Black, banking Black, building Black. Started on Black Friday. So was that last? That was last Friday. It was just a week ago.
Yes.
And we go all the way to January 1st with Black Xmas. And so all holiday season long during Black Xmas, we ask you to follow Black Lives Matter LA to learn more about Black-owned businesses that you can support this season. And then also join Black Lives Matter Grassroots in divesting from white capitalism and engaging in cooperative economics.
That's right. And so what that means is to go to blackxmas.org. You can go to blackxmas.org to read more. We know that Black Xmas was initiated in the name of John Crawford III, who was a 22-year-old Black father who was murdered while he was shopping in a Walmart store when store employees called police on him because he picked up their store merchandise. It was a BB gun that they were selling on the shelves. He picked it up. He was just walking through the aisle with his on the phone, talking to a friend on the phone, and police came in and murdered this 22-year-old Black father in the Walmart aisles. We know that also John Crawford is not the only one, that Stephen Taylor was killed in a Walmart up in San Leandro. Yvette Henderson was killed outside a Home Depot accused of shoplifting. We know that just recently this young pregnant sister was just killed in front of Kroger, and her murderer was acquitted. She was 7 months pregnant. They killed her and her unborn child. This was also in Ohio. And so white capitalism utilizes police violence to maximize their profits and to kill Black people. And so we say, don't give them your money. We build Black by investing in Black organizations that benefit Black community, right? Organizations like Black Lives Matter Grassroots, organizations like Youth Justice Coalition, like Social Justice Learning Institute, right? Invest in those organizations because chances are, and Lamika, you're really good at this, right? Chances are your people don't need more crap just because it's the holidays, right? So what would it mean to you when we know that you really care about young people, right? This is your thing. What would it mean to you for us to say that mothers should be kept with their children and be safe from domestic violence? So in your name, Sister Lamika, we're donating $50 to the Genesee Center, right, which houses Black women and families who are fleeing domestic violence. I think that would be way more meaningful for you than buying you some piece of clothing or some toys that I know Justice, Legacy, and Freedom don't actually need.
That's right. No, we absolutely want to support the Black businesses in our community, especially the ones that are investing in our people and our children and our families. And so that's why we got to build Black, buy Black. Make sure you check out blackxmas.org and find an organization or a business that you feel aligns with who you are and what you're invested in and what you care about, and support that business rather than going out and buying more things that you don't need.
Right. So build Black means invest in Black organizations. Buy Black means maybe Justice does actually need a skateboard. Don't go to Walmart. Go to neighbor's skate shop to get that skateboard if he actually needs it, right? And then move your money. Bank Black. Right? You get mistreated. I hate this Chase Bank right here. Jan laughs at me because I always say, you should study the history of banks. Chase made its first profit off of chattel slavery. Who you think they was chasing, right? Don't put your money at Chase Bank. Move your money to a Black bank like a One United, right? So build Black, invest in Black organizations, right? You can give in the name of someone that you love, right? If you need to buy Black and move your money. It doesn't even cost you anything to bank Black.
It's true. And we bank with One United, and they're very family oriented. They know my kids, they know us. And so when you go in there, it feels like home versus going to some, big bank that's more like informal. I mean, not informal, but you know what I'm saying? They're not as invested in you and who you are in your community.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
All right. So a lot on Black Xmas. We have our next headline. So last Wednesday, BLMLA organizers and allies gathered for our weekly End Police Associations rally in front of the Hall of Justice, or what we call the Hall of Injustice. So meet us in these streets every Wednesday in front of the Hall of Injustice for BLMLA's weekly End Police Associations rally targeting District Attorney Nathan Hochman. Hochman continues to criminalize activists while letting killer cops walk free and was elected with the backing and funding of the police associations. So join these weekly protests calling for the end of police associations and challenge the district attorney who they fund and support.
That's right. And police associations every Wednesday. We did double duty on Wednesday. So,
yes. There was a lot going on Wednesday. Before that, the Black Lives Matter LA organizers were invited to the Charter Reform Commission meeting to present our participatory budgeting process and data from People's Budget LA to the commission and to the Personnel and Budget Committee. The city charter acts as LA's constitution, and if the commission decides to reform the charter, that could mean participatory budgeting would be enshrined in the city's budgeting process. Melina, you were there for that. Please tell us more.
Yeah, so it was, one, we got to encourage the city to remember that Los Angeles belongs to the people. Los Angeles belongs to the people. So they held this commission meeting on the campus of USC. Where you have to go through all of these security measures to get on campus. But also parking is $45.
Don't I know it?
$45. So how are people supposed to come if parking is $45? We found a park on the street. It still costs $20 though, right? $45 to park on campus. So I don't know how they thought that was appropriate. But we did present the people's budget, and most of our listeners know that every year Black Lives Matter leads a coalition of folks who says, where do we want our dollars, our tax dollars to go? And for the last 5 years, we've been conducting a survey. We do focus groups, and we've engaged 62,000 Angelenos over the course of the last 5 years. Every year, people say they want to spend on mental health resources and housing and the built environment as their priorities. And they want to divest from the 3 Ps, right? Police, parking enforcement, and prosecutions. And unfortunately, we're always relying on whether or not we have a good relationship with the city council president, whether or not we have a good relationship with the mayor to present this data to them. Now that Karen Bass is mayor, she hears the data, but she doesn't incorporate the data. The purpose of us going before the Charter Reform Commission was to say it shouldn't be dependent on whether or not they like us, that it should be built into the city's charter, that just like they take comment from every city department, they should take comment from the people's budget, and they should incorporate the people's budget priorities into the budgeting process. So we, one of the commissioners actually, who's co-founder of Clergy for Black Lives, Reverend Dr. James Thomas, suggested that we go before the full commission. So that's our hope, and we'll know more by January.
Yes, I'm excited about this, and I really do hope that we get to have this enshrined, because imagine if the 62,000 participants in this process with the people's budget, if those voices actually were included in the budget decision makings for the city of LA, we would see a very different budget. We would see resources allocated to the things we want and not to the places where the police are saying that, give us more money, which is what happens every single year. So looking forward to that. Thank you to everybody who's been participating in those surveys for the past few years, and to our team that's been leading the research and the work on that. Next headline. Oh, Donald Trump is in the news, of course, always. And last week, he declared a war on Somali immigrants. He promised to deport even those who are legal citizens of this country. And he seems to be fixated on Congressmember Ilhan Omar as he talks about Somali immigrants and targeting them. Congresswoman Omar represents Minnesota's 5th district, which is where there's the largest concentration of Somali immigrants in the country. And she's a member of the Squad, which is the most progressive element of Congress. She is a practicing Muslim and mother, and she is a dear friend of Black Lives Matter grassroots. We are encouraging everyone to post on social media with the hashtag #IStandWithElon and to speak out against this. This is pretty wild.
It's wild, it's crazy, and it's despicable. And I posted yesterday, I've had the pleasure of being in the company of Ilhan Omar and working with her on things like ending qualified immunity, working with her on reparations for Black people, working with her on lots of different things, especially in the aftermath of George Floyd's murder. Our children are friends. And I love her. She's also just a really beautiful human being inside and out. And so we want to make sure that she knows she's not alone. And so we're posting I Stand with Ilhan.
Next up, Birmingham police murdered Jamal Williams. He was living with mental health challenges and was surrendering at the time of his murder.
Right. And I'm getting information in right now from BLM Grassroots Birmingham. Grateful to Eric Hall, who is meeting with Jamal Williams' mother today. So we'll know more about what happened. I know that BLM Birmingham, which you can follow on Instagram at BLM Beham, we know that they are pressuring the mayor right now and meeting with the family. Birmingham and the surrounding area have been really just a site of police violence for the last several years, but especially over the last year, because it's the same place Jabari Peoples was killed outside in Homewood, Alabama, and now Jamal Williams was just killed there.
We'll keep everybody posted as we get more information. We all know that Black Lives Matter, grassroots is Black Lives Matter, but some people seem to be missing that. There's an organization right here in Los Angeles area in Hawthorne called AfriKicks, and they're planning to honor Cicely Gay, one of the thieves who stole Black Lives Matter's resources, platforms, and our good name. In response, hundreds took to social media to encourage the organization to withdraw the award. Comments have been deleted and accounts have been blocked. In retaliation, the BLM Global Network Foundation, which Cicely Gay chairs, has had its lawyer, which specializes in defending white-collar criminals, threaten to file a restraining order against our very own Melina.
Right.
So we're asking everyone to hop in the comments at AfriKicks and ask them to withdraw Cicely Gay's award. The awards event is scheduled for this Tuesday, December 9th in Hollywood. So stay tuned for further calls to action.
And I don't care. They can file a restraining order if they want to. It'll get thrown out. You can't really file. It's ironic, right? And tells how not Black Lives Matter they are, that they're enlisting police because I made a social media post, right? They're enlisting police over a social media post. Prayerfully, a judge will go, no, you can't get a restraining order for somebody's comment on social media, which actually was a very nice comment. I just said, if you're a Muslim, why are you, engaging in an act of injustice? Withdraw the award. So go to AfriKicks, AFRI Kicks, KICKS, and tell them withdraw the award. That's all. But, it won't go unanswered if they do award her. So stay tuned Tuesday night. Also on Tuesday night, something's happening.
Yes, on Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m., come out to the free Mumia Freedom Tour with Mumia's son, Ismail Ibn Mumia, at Black Lives Matter LA's Center for Black Power. 44 years after the United States framed journalist and Black Power organizer Mumia Abu Jamal, we continue to fight for his freedom. Join us for an evening of conversation and collective strategy building with special guests, his son, Ismail Ibn Mumia, and freedom fighters from around the nation. That's coming up on Tuesday, December 9th at 6:30 p.m. at the Center for Black Power, located here in Africatown at 3423 West 43rd Place.
And that's a wrap for headlines. When we come forward, we'll be in our More Than a Hashtag conversation with the family of Frank Tyson.
BLM, This Is Not a Drill, continues when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch is apologizing to Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani after her brother made inflammatory remarks about him.
I look forward to being a mayor for each and every New Yorker, including Jewish New Yorkers.
At a private event, her brother reportedly called Mamdani, quote, an enemy of the Jewish people, end quote. Senator Lindsey Graham says witnessing Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo sign a peace deal in the Oval Office was a historic moment. He praised President Trump for brokering the agreement, noting the decades-long conflict has claimed millions of lives. And the estate of the notorious B.I.G. is denying claims in Netflix's new docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs, including that funeral costs were paid using Biggie's record deal money. Wayne Barrow, who helps manage the estate, told The Breakfast Club's Lauren LaRosa the story is not true and called it disrespectful to imply Biggie's family would not notice that. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
This Thanksgiving, take the family to new heights at the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway. Enjoy ride and dine at Pines Cafe or a holiday meal at both Pines Cafe or Peaks Restaurant. Lunch and dinner with stunning views, 8,500 feet above the desert floor. Visit pstramway.com. Rise into wonder.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles.
Hey, Brother Melvin.
public editor of Los Angeles News.
We're about to come back, okay?
African American communities of Los Angeles. Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications, conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together. BLM's This Is Not a Drill on KBLA Talk 1580.
My name is Melina Abdullah, and we are in our More Than a Hashtag conversation here on This Is Not a Drill. Last April, Brother Frank Tyson was murdered by police in Canton, Ohio. It was one of the most painful stories that I've heard. Brother Frank Tyson was 53 years old and had come into a bar for help after a traffic accident and was killed by police as he was uttering those famous words, "I can't breathe." I had the honor of meeting Frank Tyson's family during his funeral last year, and the case is moving forward as a criminal prosecution. We're in conversation with Brother Melvin Tyson about the murder of his brother, Frank Tyson. And we are grateful that you were able to join us on the show this morning, Brother Melvin.
Thank you for having me.
You there?
Yes, I'm there. Thank you for having me on.
Do you want to start, because part of why this case is so painful is your brother's story. Can you tell us a little bit about your brother, Frank Tyson?
Well, he was wrongfully accused and did 24 years in prison. And there's a gag order on, so I really can't really speak on it, but I can tell you about Frank. He had did 24 years in prison and was released 13 days later. He was gone. Frank had a plan. He wanted to help other inmates that was wrongfully accused to get exonerated. And he didn't have that chance. That was all. I mean, there's people that come up to me since this has happened, and they say, "Man, your brother helped me get out of the penitentiary." It was like a jailhouse attorney. He was helping everybody else get out, but couldn't get himself out. And that's the hurting thing.
Brother Melvin, how old was he when he was initially arrested?
28 years.
There's no gag order on me, so I'm going to say what I know. That Brother Frank Tyson was set up by police as a young black man. He served all of this time in prison trying to get himself out. He never relented. He never stopped proclaiming his innocence. He did powerful work, but he was also exposing a system that targets black people and black men especially. One of the things that every time I think about it drives me to tears is he had a beautiful life partner who waited for him the entire time, and they were supposed to be married.
Yes.
They had life planned in front of them. She waited from the time he was 28 till he was 53 to be with this beautiful human being who still had hope and faith even after having 24 years of his life stolen from him. And I believe that his outspokenness, his courage, his fierce love for you all, his family, but also for his people, is one of the reasons why the system of police had such disdain for our brother Frank Tyson, who had only been home, like you said, for less than 2 weeks. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you tell us, Brother Melvin, what happened? What happened? What were the circumstances of your brother's death? Or is that one of the things you're preventing? Okay. Okay, so I can say, and this is from headlines, and we want to encourage everybody to look up the case of Frank Tyson. Brother Frank.
It's not only a minnow. It's not only a minnow. I mean, it's stuff that we're going through. It's physical, mental. It's just rough on the whole family. You know, we're missing some work, but the working stuff don't mean nothing. It's just hard. It's just hard to be out here going through this. Almost 2 years now. Next April will be 2 years. It's rough. I can't hear you.
Brother Frank had gone into a bar for help after a traffic accident. So I'm just sharing with folks the story. Brother Frank had gone into a bar for help after a traffic accident. Police were called in on him. Police tackled him to the ground, handcuffed him, sat on his back. Brother Frank was saying, "I can't breathe." 7 minutes passed. And ultimately, Brother Frank lost his life while he was looking for help. Those cops are now on criminal trial. They face criminal charges for the murder of Frank Tyson. Brother Melvin, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Great. So I've been looking up the progress of the case, and I'm filling in, but if there's something that you're able to say, and we know that one of the ways that the system of injustice kind of continues to cause harm is they often place gag orders on families. So that's why we're encouraging everybody to look up this case. There is footage. You can see what happened. We're encouraging people to look up the case of Frank Tyson in Canton, Ohio. But there are criminal charges. A grand jury indicted the 2 officers that are responsible for Frank's murder, as I think it's reckless homicide charges that they're facing.
Yeah.
And that case is moving forward, but there's all kinds of mess with the case. I don't know if you're able to talk about it or if you want me to detail what's happening.
I appreciate you saying it, because, like I said, they had that gag order.
So the first judge who was supposed to oversee the case had to recuse herself from the case. There's now a prosecutor, I believe his name is Stone. Prosecutor Stone, who at the 11th hour, this case is supposed to be moving forward now. At the 11th hour, after he declared his candidacy for office, has now requested that a special prosecutor be put in place and that he be dismissed from the case. If that is to happen, what will likely happen is a motion to dismiss the entire case to let these killer cops off the hook. So we're looking at the case moving forward. I think the next court date is in December, and I believe you're allowed to say when the next court date is. So if you want to give the exact date, or I can look it up. The next date is in December.
December 12th.
December 12th. So that is
2 p.m.
December 12th at what?
2 p.m.
December 12th at 2 p.m. in Canton, Ohio. So we absolutely want to pack that courtroom, but we want to have all eyes on Canton. This is a setup. There's a chant that Lamika, that, we say indict, convict, send the killer cops to jail. Mm-hmm. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. This is one of those cases where you see the entire system the police, the prosecutor, the judges, all participating in this collusion to let these white killer cops off the hook. They're pulling every lever that they can to ensure that Frank Tyson continues to be abused and oppressed by this criminal system of injustice. When we come forward, I'm going to ask Brother Melvin Tyson to talk about what he can talk about, which is how do we support you as we come forward. More with the brother of Frank Tyson. You're welcome into the conversation. Our phone number is 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. More with Melvin Tyson when we come forward.
Okay, I'm going to have my brother's going to speak with you also, John Tyson.
Okay, Brother Melvin, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, we're at commercial. What are you able to talk about?
I'm going to have my brother come on and talk with you right now, John Tyson.
Move with community this
You said
holiday
what?
season.
I'm going to have my brother John Tyson speak to you right now.
My mom has decided to learn to paint,
and we
she's
can
good.
talk about how
My
we
dad's now
support
into
you all.
creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds. Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name.
Greetings, Brother John.
Forgetting
Good evening or good morning.
Memory
How you
loss may be
doing?
a sign of Alzheimer's
I'm hanging
disease.
in there under the
Early detection gives
circumstances.
you and your loved one
Yes.
time to plan for the future.
So I
Learn the
know
warning
there's a
signs of
gag order,
Alzheimer's
so I
at
tried my best to
10signs.org.
give an
Brought to you by
overview
the
of the
Alzheimer's
case.
Association and the Ad Council.
The holidays mean more
But if
travel,
there's
more
anything
shopping,
that you
more
need to
time
fill
online,
in,
and more
I've
personal
been
info and more
following. I
places
think
that
we
can
met at the
expose you more to
funeral.
identity theft.
Okay.
LifeLock monitors millions
I've
of
been
data points per
following, and I've
second.
been also
If your
talking.
identity is
I
stolen,
just
our US-based
talked about
restoration
how this
specialists will
prosecutor
fix
is
it,
trying to be
guaranteed, or your money
removed, and
back. Don't face
then
drained
they want to
accounts,
dismiss
fraudulent
the
loans,
case.
or financial losses
So
alone.
I don't
Get more
know
holiday fun and less
if there's
holiday work
anything in
with
there that
LifeLock.
you're allowed to
Save up
say,
to
or if there's
40% your
something
first year
that
with promo code
I
news.
should be
Visit
saying
lifelock.com. Terms apply.
more.
Your ambition
But
just met
we
its
can
match
get
with
into how
Robinhood.
people
Trade
support
stocks and
you.
ETFs, options,
So we can
futures,
do
and
a
crypto,
pack the
all
court
in one
call to
platform. Get
action
started
for
today
the
at
12th.
Robinhood.com/yourmoney.
And then if there's anything else you want to say, you can say anything that you want to say that is, doesn't violate your gag order.
Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC.
A lot of the things you've been touching is exactly what's going on. Not only the judge has recused herself, the other 4 judges in the courthouse has also recused themselves. And the talk about the defense asking for a mistrial, that is currently happened too. And there's a resolution that's going on too that the defense wants to be honored by the new prosecutor. But the resolution hasn't been talked about, but there's some kind of resolution there in the making. Probably pretty much letting the officers off the hook.
And has the prosecutor has not yet been removed, right?
Officially, no. We're waiting for it. I think that's the 12th is going to be the decision, because he has to come face to face in court to actually say he's willing to take the case. Because the last court hearing, he was not there.
Your home, our community.
Okay.
This is a community call to action.
All right. And if
KBLA
there's
Talk
calls to action,
1580.
Brother John, about what you want the public to do. Oh, we're coming back. We're back.
Back to the conversation.
My name is
handle.
Marlene Abdullah, and you're listening to This Is Not a Drill right here on KBLA Talk 1580. We're talking with the brothers of Frank Tyson. Frank Tyson was 53 years old when he went into a bar to ask for help after a traffic accident. Police came in. They killed this brother on the floor of the bar, handcuffed. He was uttering those famous words that were uttered by Eric Garner, that were spoken by George Floyd. I can't breathe. And the police, these white cops, refused to hear him. They stole his life. And now they do stand trial because the grand jury did do the right thing and indicted both of those officers. But the entire criminal system of injustice has been levied against this black man. And now I'm learning that it's not just one judge who recused herself from the case, but 4 judges. Every judge in that courthouse have refused to oversee that case. And they had to pull in an outside judge to oversee the case. Now what we're looking at is the prosecutor who's running for office. He waited until the 11th hour and said he also wants to be removed from that case, and said, they need to bring in a special prosecutor. On December 12th, this next court date, we'll find out whether or not that prosecutor will get his wish and be removed. Either way, we can't expect justice, because if the prosecutor doesn't want to prosecute the case and he stays on, he's going to do a terrible job of prosecuting the case. And if he's removed, the state has made it clear that they intend to file to dismiss the charges against these white cops who killed this black man. We have with us, because the Tyson family is strong, right, that we had Melvin Tyson on, and now we have another brother, John Tyson, on. And I've been asking Brother John to share with us what it is we can do to support the Tyson family as the case continues to move forward. How do we support you all, Brother John?
I'm just glad that it's getting the news coverage that it should have been getting a long time ago. I like to thank everyone that's involved with it. The more that it gets out, the more it's able to be seen and to be heard. The police cameras now is really helping a lot of things that are coming to light that maybe years ago didn't come to light, and all the things that were pushed under the rug are now being able to be seen in the opening with the body cams.
The body cam footage and people can look it up on their own, right? So the case is Frank Tyson in Canton, Ohio, and you can pull up that footage. You can see that Brother Frank was looking for help, and he was killed in the midst. He should have never been confronted by police in the first place, right? And then absolutely they should have listened when he said, "I can't breathe." But instead they wasted 7 minutes and let his life be stolen. They stole his life. And so there is body cam footage that demonstrates that Frank Tyson should still be here with us. He should have been marrying his longtime sweetheart who waited for him all of this time. He should be with his family. He should be home. There was an empty seat at the table over Thanksgiving. And now the case moves forward. Is there any space, Brother John, to create pressure to make sure that the charges stand and that the case is not dismissed?
Large groups rally, protesting, peaceful protesting. Another thing to be maybe wanted to be pointed out, they were out of their jurisdiction. And I've always known when someone in an accident, the first thing you should ask, are you okay? Do you need any help? They went straight to no kind of de-escalating, just basically straight to the punch. Let's go, blah, blah, blah. They never even told him what he was under arrest for. They never even said he was under arrest.
For help after a traffic accident. There was not even an right. So there wasn't even an accusation. Correct?
Hello?
Yes, he hadn't even done anything where he could have been accused of doing something wrong. He went in and asked for help after a traffic accident. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, large groups. So, have you had court support in the pretrial hearings leading up to this? Have people turned out to court to support the family?
Mostly it's just the inner family.
Mostly the inner family, but you believe that if there are more people there on December 12th, that'll help create pressure?
Yes.
Oh. So it's December 12th at 2 p.m. at the courthouse in Canton, Ohio?
Yes.
What about online support? Have you all been receiving kind of support from organizations online? Is there support? Have you been seeing enough coverage in news media?
There has been news media, but we definitely need more. There have been a lot of positive comments of the news media.
I know that Brother Andrew Joseph, our rapid response coordinator for Black Lives Matter Grassroots, has been working with the family, and you've been involved in some of the Justice Families calls. We'll make sure that we do what we can to create support on December 12th. Normally, the big call to action is once the trial has started. But what we're looking at with this case is there may not be a trial if we don't create pressure now. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if you're in Canton or can get to Canton, we need all hands on deck on December 12th. All hands on deck on December 12th. I believe December 12th is a Friday. So if you can get to Canton or you're in Canton, Ohio, we need support. Also visibility online so that people know that people are watching, and we'll make sure that we put something out that can be shared at BLM Grassroots. Is there anything else you'd like to share, Brother John?
This is another pleasant record. The cops were young. They still was just barely out of their 6-month probation. It was suggested they go to another 6 months probation. And one of them probably never even should have been a cop because on his record, he had a minor theft charges. And the police department mentioned they weren't even aware of it. So maybe he shouldn't even have been a cop.
So the cops were inexperienced and problematic. Both of them were white officers. I don't know if there's any ties to any problematic organizations, but, you know, refusing to hear a black man say, "I can't breathe," after we already know what happened to Eric Garner, after we already know what happened to George Floyd, is criminal in and of itself. And we're prayerful, and we'll connect with you, Brother John, to make sure that we provide some support for the 12th.
I'm looking forward to it.
Can we please get a GoFundMe? Frank Tyson GoFundMe.
If you send that to me, we'll make sure that we share that out. That GoFundMe goes directly to the Tyson family, correct?
Yes, yes.
And so we have to remember that there's real costs. And can you just explain for folks real quickly why financial support is needed?
Family member has missing work, just flyers, just basic everyday needs.
We're talking about working class people who have to take off work in order to come to court, have to pay these exorbitant parking fees, who have to rally themselves, flyer, and exert energy. So we will share that GoFundMe. Those funds go directly to the Tyson family. So please give what you can. And we'll make sure we also amplify Frank Tyson. So if you are on social media, please say Frank Tyson's name. You can hashtag Frank Tyson. That helps it pick up. And also, as one of the Justice families has shared with us, when we put a hashtag, it's shorthand for what happened to them. So we want to make sure that we say Frank Tyson's name, especially leading up to December 12th. We want to thank you so much, Brother Melvin and Brother John, for joining us this morning. I'll make sure that I follow up with you to see what else we can do in advance of December 12th, and we say his name, Frank Tyson.
Frank Tyson.
Thank you for having us.
Say his name,
Frank Tyson.
When we come forward, we'll be with the son of Mumia Abu Jamal about Free Mumia right here on This Is Not a Drill.
KBLA 15.
So just a radio won't be no place.
Sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch is apologizing to Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani after her brother made inflammatory remarks about him.
I look forward to being a mayor for each and every New Yorker, including Jewish New Yorkers.
At a private event, her brother reportedly called Mamdani, quote, an enemy of the Jewish people, end quote. Senator Lindsey Graham says witnessing Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo sign a peace deal in the Oval Office was a historic moment. He praised President Trump for brokering the agreement, noting the decades-long conflict has claimed millions of lives. And the estate of the notorious B.I.G. is denying claims in Netflix's new docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs, including that funeral costs were paid using Biggie's record deal money. Wayne Barrow, who helps manage the estate, told The Breakfast Club's Lauren LaRosa the story is not true and called it disrespectful to imply Biggie's family would not notice that. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, yo, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power.
This is not a drill. 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 This is real.
My name is Melina Abdullah, and you're listening to This Is Not a Drill right here on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm in studio with one of my favorite people, Lamika Castillo, who's co-hosting the show today. Thank you for joining in studio, Lamika.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody. Good to be here.
And we know that over the last couple of weeks, especially really over the last couple of months, increased attention has been paid to political prisoners, right? And we have to remember that we still have political prisoners in this country. We still have political prisoners in this country. We unfortunately lost one of our most fearless political prisoners, Imam Jamil Al-Amin, formerly known as H. Rap Brown, who was instrumental in building the Black Power movement, who's been instrumental in building really kind of justice work in Islam. He was a beloved member of community in Atlanta. And before that, and I really am appreciating all of the footage that's going around on social media. People know him as an organizer with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and then the Black Panther Party. And there's really beautiful footage of him building with Stokely Carmichael or Kwame Ture. And he'd done just immense and powerful work. And we were not able to get him free before he transitioned. We were not able to get him free. He had a wonderful janaza in Florida. And, we mourn the loss and pray for his peaceful ascent. And there are still political prisoners who we can get free. So Mumia Abu-Jamal is one of the names that many of you all know. That Mumia Abu-Jamal is a fearless leader, continues to be a fearless leader from behind the prison walls. He's an outspoken journalist. He was a member of MOVE, and he really planted seeds which are really, really important. And Brother Jamal, who's on with us, he's the son of Mumia Abu-Jamal, Jamal ibn Mumia. I didn't share with you when we met in Indianapolis that your father's book was really instrumental in my life when I was a graduate student, because one of the things that your father continues to talk about is the death row phenomenon. So it's not just political prisoners. It's not just about, being actually being executed. It's about the entire process of being placed on death row. Now, we're grateful that the death row piece has seen some intervention, but your father's not home, and we need your father to be home. And on Tuesday, you'll join us here in Los Angeles, God willing, inshallah. You'll be with us in Los Angeles to talk about what we can do to fight to free Mumia. Before I hand things over to you, I do want to remind our listeners that we're listening to not just listen to the story, but to engage. And our fight for the freedom of political prisoners can be a winning fight. That we welcomed Baba Mutulu Shakur, Dr. Mutulu Shakur home. We welcomed Baba Sekou Odinga home. We did free Rochelle McGee. And we can free Mumia Abu Jamal. And we're grateful to have his son, Jamal Ibn Mumia, with us this morning right here on This Is Not a Drill. Thank you, brother, so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Brother Jamal, I know that your
Well,
father's
I just got off the phone. I got a little delay.
Go ahead, Brother
Can you
Jamal.
hear
You
me?
started to say you just got. Brother Jamal, you started to say you just got off the phone. I want you to go ahead with that story.
Okay.
I think
okay. All right. So I just got off the phone with my father, and he gave me an update on his medical. Gave me an update on his medical condition right now, and one of the things that he has said that the doctor, they did take him out to surgery on the 5th for his other eye. However, they denied to service the retinopathy, the issue. They put him in surgery, but they did not heal the problem that he initially was going for that can prevent him from becoming blind. So that was one of the things that he expressed to me. We putting out things for people so they can help and participate, and we want him to get fully medical condition. It's called a retinopathy. And that's when something with the retina and this blood that's filling up in the back of your eye, they have to take the fluid out and, do some more, of course, medical repair. But what they did was they gave him the laser real fast. And then when he questioned it, that surgeon told him, well, his other surgeon had died and he don't know about all that other pre-stuff that he need to do. So my father was like, wait a minute. The last surgeon that I had, he said that the next time I come, because this eye is worse than the other one. So next time I come, you're going to take out the fluids or do the retinopathy procedure. And he says, well, I just got on my books the surgery procedure. And he took 5 minutes, did the laser thing, but he still left the eye unhealed. So we're pushing right now. We're calling up around the DOC, and we basically is going to call them accountable for it. It is definitely murder by medicine. There's political prisoners. There's always get neglect when it has to do with medical, and we need to address that because that is the problem with a lot of them coming home and being injured and extra sick because of the lack of immediate medical attention.
That's right. So thank you for that health update. Brother Jamal, just in case people have not been paying attention, and we know in this country there's almost no coverage of political prisoners. And now we see the banning of the real history of Black people. We see the banning even in states like California. They recently passed a law that if you say anything in the classroom that makes especially those who identify with the so-called State of Israel feel uncomfortable, teachers can be fired with no recourse. And this is happening all across the country. We know many people don't even know the case of Mumia Abu Jamal. Can you give us just a quick primer on who your father is and the circumstances that put him in prison in the first place?
Well, we're going back to a young Mumia in Philadelphia. He was part of creating the Philadelphia chapter of the Black Panther Party. At the age of 14, he was the Minister of Information. And people don't understand what that is. That's the Deputy Minister of Information, because they had all of the things at the main office out there in Oakland. And what my father did was he did the pamphlets, he assisted on the papers, he did the speeches, and he constantly kept them aware. And he went to the main office several times and worked with different members of that office out there. So he constantly was up about police brutality. He constantly was up about persecution of Black and brown people and abuse of authority in Philadelphia. He was very opinionated with it, and he learned how to do it and put it in the paper. And he learned how to report on what's going on, the attacks. Time goes by, the Panther Party, they break up. He still got a family. He still got to support his family. He moved to journalism. And then he was on the radio station, which was WHAT in Philadelphia and WDAS, which are popular stations in Philadelphia. He was the supervisor of the news chapter. He continued to report about the police brutality, the murder of unarmed Black and brown men and women in Philadelphia. And that's how he came across the MOVE, and he was a MOVE supporter. He was never a member. He was a supporter, but he also reported on their situation. And it started in Poughton Village, and that's down in West Philadelphia. And they were having a standoff in 1977. That originally started the Move 9 situation, where they were charged, 9 people were charged for 1 murder and 1 bullet. My father happened to go to the press release where the mayor and the police commissioner are trying to control the narrative that these radicals was in a crazy shootout and the police officer died. So my father raised his hand and he says, "Can you touch?" This is Frank Rizzo, that's racist at this time. So my father, he raised his hand and he says, "Can you tell the people on friendly fire?" Because the coroner report says that friendly fire is when an officer shoots another officer. So this officer Ramp was killed by friendly fire. So another officer shot him. How could you charge 9 people for 1 murder that you know they didn't commit? And he was like, "Young man, you're going to be accountable for your actions." He said, "Those radicals, I got them off the street. If they left when they told them to leave, then that would have never happened." So right then, that spawned out a vendetta with my father against the status quo, against the state, against the local police commissioners, and all of that. So now Mumia is still a journalist. He's still reporting. He was in 1981. He was the president of the National Black Journalists Association, and he also went for like 3 or 4 anchor jobs. Because I remember him and my mother, they was arguing with because he refused the anchor jobs for Channel 3, 17, and it was another popular channel, because they told him, "We love what you do. We just need you to cut your dreads. We want to go more with like an Afro look." And he was like, "Well, you don't love what I do because I'm not going to cut my dreads. That's not me." So he didn't get the job. So he's struggling as a journalist, and he's continued to be on the radio, and then he's covering these type of cases that's exposing the police brutality, the murders on Black people, the police abuse, the racial discrimination, and all of that. So he loses some of these jobs. He get fired. So he started moonlighting because, again, you're married. Him and my mother, they went to college together, got to college, and they were married. They got kids. Some got to give. So he became a cab driver. He started moonlighting as a cab driver and still doing those radio journalist jobs. And that's when he came about on December the 9th, which was like maybe a year or a year and a half after Move was convicted. And he wound up doing that. He ran into a situation, got shot. He come through, he's charged with capital murder. And he's fighting it, but he got that journalist mind, and he's saying, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. So they got to prove this. They got to show this because the law says they got to do that. You got to remember, this is the guy that constantly was putting stories against him. So they framed him, and the cover of the frame, the officer was Daniel Faulkner. At the time, in Philadelphia, the FBI local office had an investigation on that Philadelphia precinct downtown from 1980 to 1988. My father was arrested on December the 9th, 1981. That is very relevant because there was corruption already in that police precinct. So the third in command, he comes, his name was Alfonso Diagano. That was like the muscle for the same police commissioner and the mayor that was giving that press conference. So he knew exactly. They beat my dad. They beat him for like 3 hours. And the doctor even said when he came there, he was so unconscious that he had to tell him to stop beating him in the hospital. So all of this is going about because they knew exactly who he was. And there was a confession in his case with Arnold Beverly. And his confession corroborates not only things that happened that day, but also the people that was around. And he went through 3 lie detector tests and passed them by a reputable person that does this. And his blood is at the scene because he said he got shot at the scene. He said he seen another officer shoot my father as he was approaching because he was hired to do a hit on the cop, Daniel Faulkner, because they were under investigation and they got word that he was talking or messing up their grip on the mafia and the dirty money that they were taking. So this was all taking place like instantly. So one of the things that we try to express with our organization, Freedom from Frame Up, is that we free those that's framed. And we go in and we have people investigated. We got lawyers on our staff, and we just try to bring to the people clear-cutting facts that have been swept under the rug. And Arnold Beverly, you can see he got an affidavit and everything. It was in 1999. With his affidavit at the time, it was Len Weinglass and Daniel Williams. They were Mumia's attorney. Len Weinglass was the lead attorney. He had got the Chicago 7 out, and he worked on some very popular cases. However, he allowed Dan Williams to get a ghostwriter or write a book about Mumia, doubting the Arnold Beverly confession, because the book writer, the ghostwriter, he was saying this would be more sensational to sell. At the time, Mumia had a book called Live from Death Row that he just started. So imagine your attorney defending you for your life. And then he just said, I'm gonna write a book because your book is the bestseller. That's mind-boggling.
When we come forward, I want to pick up on that. And I want to pick up also on the initial sentence. I didn't share with you, Brother Jamal, when we met, that your father's book, Live from Death Row, actually changed the course of my study. He, Live from Death Row awakened me in really, really important ways. And I want to talk about that as well when we come forward with Jamal Ibn Mumia. You're welcome to join the conversation at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We have the whole hour with Jamal Ibn Mumia right here on This Is Not a Drill.
BLM's This Is Not a Drill, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
If your appliances can't handle the holiday hosting heat, December deal drops at Lowe's makes upgrading easy. Get up to 35% off select major appliances.
Look, I'm taking you off mute so you can hear what we're saying. Yeah, your father's case, man, like it is the whole corruption of the whole system, how everybody's in there.
You save. Valid through 12/10. While supplies last. Selection
Yeah.
varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See
Yeah.
Lowe's.com/terms for
I
details.
know a lot of us also, and I'll
You've got a
talk
big
about
day,
it maybe
so
if
you
you
use
want to talk about
unstoppable
it.
scent boosters
I
to
thought
give your
a
laundry
lot of us had
nonstop
hope when
freshness.
Larry
So no matter
Krasner
how long the day
was
goes,
elected
you
that something would happen, that he'd do the right thing.
Your
Do
clothes
you
will
want
be
to
so
talk about
fresh you
that
can
at all?
confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a.
Well, you can talk about that because I got my opinions on them, but I believe that
Add
we're
new
not going to go
Unstoppables
with
beads to
a
your wash for
with the
24-hour
courts. We
nonstop
believe that the
freshness, so
courts
you can smell
has been compromised. They
unstoppable.
weaponized. I mean, the man been in jail for
Kohl's
45
customer
years. What
appreciation
we're
event
asking
is
for
here,
is
right
the
in time for
people
the gift
to go
exchange.
back like the
Even though
Panthers
everyone
used to do
pretends gifting
and
isn't
go
a
see who's on
competition,
those
it
party
kinda
boards,
is.
see
At
who's
Kohl's,
on that
save on
legislative,
gifts everyone
and
will fight
show
over.
them the proof.
From sweaters and flannels
Because
to air
the
fryers,
key is to
toaster
get him
ovens,
out,
and more.
and then we can
Because
attack the
deep
case
down, the
once he
gift
gets out.
exchange isn't just
But
about
we've
giving.
been waiting on
It's
those
also
courts,
about
and they've
winning.
been delaying
Shop
for
Kohl's
like
and save on
years.
top gifts
Like
now.
they'll take something
Select
under
styles, some
advisement
exclusions
for
apply.
years, and they
Offers end
spread out
December
all his
14th. See
issues.
store or
Because there's other
Kohl's.com for
facts
details.
that prove his innocence.
KBLA Talk 1580.
But yeah, you can bring that up.
KBLA Talk 1580,
feel free.
connecting you with
If we
services
get to it.
and
Hey,
solutions.
sister,
The
I'm well
Autopsy
versed
Initiative
to
provides
handle
a
any
second
way
autopsy
you
free
want
of
to go.
charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death.
How long you gonna be in
Police-related
town
death
for?
includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers
For
during arrest,
a few days, we
pursuit,
got a
booking,
couple more
transport, or
events.
incarceration.
We got something
The
to beg
Autopsy
for. I
Initiative
figured
has
out
a
it's
team of
6 hours.
board-certified pathologists on
You know,
call.
I'd be
An
thinking
autopsy request
California
It's
is
only
just
4
like
hours
a
to
couple of
Vegas.
highways.
Close relationship with the victim,
It's
which
not
may
that far.
include the victim's spouse, partner, relative,
Yeah,
close friend,
I'm
or
gonna be out
lawyer.
in Vegas
To
on the
request a
8th.
free second autopsy
Come the
for a
9th
victim
on the
of police
anniversary
violence,
of
please
Mumia
visit
Rep.
knowyourrightscamp.com. That's
Okay.
That's gonna be
knowyourrightscamp.com.
44
Then
years.
click on autopsy, then
Wow.
click on
Then we
request.
go
At
to
KBLA,
San
we believe
Jose,
in justice for
which is in
victims of police
Silicon Valley.
violence. We
We're
say
doing a
their
panel
names,
with the
and
Haiti
we
Action,
don't black down. This
Hands
is a
Off
community
Cuba
call to action
blockade.
from KBLA
And
Talk
there's going to be a
1580.
panel of San Jose against war. We're going to touch on that because a lot of political prisoners are not in these circles that they need to be.
We're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And you're listening to This Is Not a Drill right here on KBLA Talk 1580. My name is Melina Abdullah. We're in conversation, and I can't let not one of these moments pass by as we're in conversation with Jamal Ibn Mumia. I'm the son of Mumia Abu Jamal. So all through the commercial, I'm trying to hit him up for as much as possible, and we want to make sure that everybody is plugged in on the visit that's coming on Tuesday, December 9th. He'll be here, and we'll talk about Free Mumia at BLMLA's Center for Black Power. Everyone is invited. It's at 6:30 p.m. Next Tuesday, or this coming Tuesday night. We'll have snacks. We always got food because I believe in feeding people, right? We'll have food, but we'll also have really, really important conversation with Jamal Ibn Mumia. Really grateful that he's coming, and we'll strategize because we're not just here to hear stories. We're here to activate ourselves so that we can free Mumia, We've been hearing the story of Mumia Abu Jamal, who was a journalist and organizer and father, and doing all these things that we say are required of us, right? To work diligently for the freedom of Black people, to tell the truth. One of the reasons he was targeted, as we're hearing, is because he was telling the truth about what's happening to Black people, what's happening to Black movement, about who the police are and what they're doing to Black folks. And so he, as a truth teller, as a journalist, was then targeted by a white supremacist police state. And so we were getting that story. We're also moving into the conviction. So there was a conviction, and ultimately, Brother Jamal, your father was sentenced to death.
Correct. So my father was arrested on December the 9th, 1981. He had a trial in June of 1982 and a sentence on July 3rd, 1982. So what's wrong with that picture? That's 6 months on a capital murder case with a police officer. I know people that get charged with lower crimes that in the county for like 9 months, 12 months, especially if you got a serious case. But from the beginning, the railroad, he was sentenced to death. He was on death row for 30 years. And one of the things that I tell people is I say that the reason why they took him off of death row because of the international people kept going to the UN and kept saying, well, y'all say, and I say, y'all, the US never claims to have political prisoners. So they say, well, what about Mumia? You know, and then they'd be like, okay, you know, so they came in, and he's the only one on death row that had a constitutional violation on a capital murder case that involved the jury. And that's what Judge Yan in 2001 said that's the reason why he commuted him to life. But listen to what he told the prosecution. He said, you got 180 days to come up with an appeal. That's 6 months. You could take a vacation and come back. What? And said, if you do not do that, his sentence will automatically commute to life. So that's a trick bag, because it's you telling them like, oh, if you do appeal, you got 160 days to find something. You know how much new law come out in 6 months? And then if you don't do nothing, we still going to take him off death row, but we're going to give him life without parole. So I said they took him from the frying pan to the broiler. And one thing that they do is they take you out of that international realm and put you amongst a lot of other brothers that's struggling for their life with life sentences. And now it says, well, what makes him so special? It's everybody else with life. So they know what they're doing. And the courts had many years to fix this. Mumia, this is coming up on his 44th year of a cover-up that they know he's innocent. And the reasons why they know he's innocent, Mumia doesn't have any record. Mumia hasn't done anything to any officers or any police. So I always ask people this: is anywhere in this country, because I have a lot of friends and I know a lot of people that have been in the trenches, okay? If two black males is caught at the scene and arrested when a white officer is murdered, that they say, how come Mumia don't have a co-defendant? Everybody always tell me, oh, they pulled your uncle over and all that. Okay, all that, man, come on. You telling me they narrative. How he don't got a co-defendant on capital murder? Hurricane Carter had a co-defendant. The dude said, I was a young boy. I was just driving with him because he was the champ. And he took me on. I didn't do this. He still did time. So what I'm saying is, because Mumia messed up their thing that they were doing to this officer, Daniel Faulkner, that they said they seen him come out the FBI building. Why is an 8-year investigation? All these cops say, what you doing in there? He said, oh, I just put an application in there. Come on, you can put your street smarts now. They're like, we all under investigation. You coming out the FBI building? Come on. So we ain't going to play naive. There's a lot of things with Mumia's case that's clear, that they created him to be that lackey because they got the playbook. What's the playbook? Black Panther, white cop. Look at the brother Kamal Siddiqui case. He would not give up our sister Asada Shakur, whom he has one of his daughters with. And they said, look, what you talking about? They said, okay. They go find a 30-year-old case, blow off the dust off of it, and said, this is a murder of a cop. He's in jail now today. He's another political prisoner. These are the things that they do. This is the playbook, because people don't do the research. And they just hear Black Panther, white cop. Come on. So when we look at Mumia, we look at everything that they was, the Black Panthers has been targeted. The COINTELPRO is still here and alive. They just changed their name. They didn't change the game. And they strategically is taking people off the board that can educate our people. And that's one thing that Mumia always did. I was with my father as young. I'm talking about like 6, 7 years old. He took me to move on Powton Village. That's the first time I seen a classroom at somebody's house. I seen a wet nurse room. I didn't know what that was. He was like, oh yeah, they do their own nurse thing with their babies. I said, huh? And then he showed me the cat.
When we come forward, I want to hear more about the threat that people who are grounded in revolutionary politics pose to white supremacist capitalism, especially in this moment. I want to hear more from you. Jamil Ibn Mumia is our guest. You're welcome to call in at 800-920-1580. More coming forward right here on This Is Not a Drill.
BLM's This Is Not a Drill, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Sorry, commercial radio.
This week with BIN News Now. ICE agents are in New Orleans. Their presence has caused many immigrant-run businesses to close their doors, either because of the lack of customers
and they
or
don't know
fear
the work
of ICE
that
agents
people actually
themselves.
do.
The New Orleans City
You know,
Council
they
and
just
Mayor-elect
go by
Helena Moreno quickly
the
stepping
local
in, calling for
news
more
and
accountability,
whatever the
starting
news
with having
narrative they
agents
want to
take
put
off the
on
mask
it,
and
they
show
take
their
that,
face.
but they don't know
The
about
demands
the
that we are
grassroots
asking
that people
is
actually
really
got to do that.
something that I believe is so
own
reasonable.
people that you could be next. It ain't
Right.
just
Superstar
men.
Michael Jordan took the
You know,
stand during
you
his
need to know what
antitrust
to say
lawsuit
if
against
they pull you
NASCAR.
over.
He's claiming
You need
unfair
to say,
business
am I being
practices
detained?
after NASCAR made
Okay.
teams sign
And
a
I
deal
call
that
my
determined
lawyer.
revenue payouts.
You know, those
Jordan
type of
co-owns
conversations
NASCAR
we
team
need to have.
2311.
Right. That's right.
Finally,
You know, because our people always think I didn't do anything, so I don't have to
Glorilla
worry
says
about
she
that.
was just
Those are the
trolling
main
after
people that they
talking
can
about
set up.
dropping an R&B album
That
on
is
social
don't
media.
care.
Get BIN News
People
now
do
on demand
think that.
24/7 on the
What do
iHeartRadio
I
app.
have to hide?
Yeah. But
Right.
see,
Compassion
you're being
sponsorship means
investigated
food,
while you
healthcare,
open your mouth to a
education,
person
and
that
most of
don't
all,
know you,
being
don't know your
known,
character,
loved,
don't
and
care. They
protected.
just looking at the
There
color
are
of your
thousands
skin.
of kids waiting
And they
over
just
a
seeing
year.
how can
They
I
need their
trap
wait.
this
Sponsor a child
person.
with compassion
You
today.
know,
Text
and that's
the
what
word
happens to
radio
black and brown people.
33393.
Because we always thought from our family
At
value
KBLA Talk
that we give
1580,
everybody a
we fight
chance.
the power
I'm
every
like,
day.
these people got a quota to meet. They gotta feed that machine. That machine is
I
the prison
listen to
industrial
KBLA
thing.
and I
They need to
love the
fill
commercials.
themselves like a
I know
renter,
what the commercials
like a
mean.
landlord got to
Also,
fill up
if I'm
a
looking and trying to
building.
figure something
You know,
out, I need
so
something to talk to
we
me
the
that
fuel.
might hit me. And it
So we
happens
gotta
on
be
TV
conscious
because,
of
you know,
that.
every
So
time
that's
they
why
show
we
sporting
do workshops
events, they got the
with the
pharmaceutical
grassroots
companies back to back to
and all
back
of that,
telling
and
people
do the
how to fix
libraries
the sickness on the same stuff that they
neighborhoods.
tell them. So we get it.
You know,
We get it
what's your
completely.
defense
And that's why
if
at
you get
KBLA
pulled
Talk
over?
1580, we
Do you know
don't
how to
black
respond? Do you know how to
down.
keep your hands where you can see? And you allow to not answer their stupid questions.
Right.
You know?
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Do
Imagine
you
a Los
all have a
Angeles where
website,
everyone can
Freedom from
thrive,
Frame
where
Up?
communities
Yes,
have
we
access
have
to the resources they need to
freedomframeUp.org.
succeed. That's the vision of Detours
You
Mentoring
can
Group
actually
Inc.
see
They're dedicated to
push,
improving life
Arnold
in LA
Beverly's
County by
live
providing
confession on
educational
there.
support,
We got a
employment
video.
assistance, and
It's
spaces
just
for
that
community
people
engagement.
kill me because they
By
say, well, why the
2050,
lawyers
they
didn't do
want
that?
LA to be
Because
the
the
best
lawyers
place to
have
connect,
an
create,
agenda.
learn, live, and play.
You can't
They're
put
working
your
toward an
hands in the
education
white
system that's
people
well
thing that
resourced
you
and
pay
culturally responsive,
and think that
becoming
they
a
all
hub for
open
artists
heart.
and innovators, and
You
making
a
sure
meal ticket to
everyone
them.
has access to
They
healthy
don't
food,
care.
quality healthcare,
You know,
and
I
safe
mean,
housing.
if they aunt
It's
or
about
they
building
son
a
or their
future where
daughter
we
was
all
on
have the
trial,
chance to
yeah, they be
succeed.
more
We
engaged.
invite you to learn
But
more
we get
about their
caught up
mission and get
on that.
involved
We
with
don't have
Detours
no ties
Mentoring
to them. We
Group
got to
Inc.
get back
This
to
is
the
a community call to
That's what the
action from
grassroots from the
KBLA
60s
Talk
and the 70s
1580.
was. They was in
Right.
the community. A lot of these people disconnected.
Right.
Caught up
Celebrate
about
the
their
soul of
neighborhood,
the
they caught up
holidays
in all
and
the wrong
support
things.
Altadena
But
and
all that don't
Pasadena.
matter
Join
if
us
you
on
get
Monday,
pulled over at
December
the wrong
15th,
time, or
7
they run
p.m.
down on you
inside the
because
Brown
somebody
Goldsmith
pointed
Theater
you out
at the
and said you did
Wallace in
something.
Beverly Hills for Soul
You
of
know,
the Holidays.
every
A
black
joyful
man,
night
black
of
and
Motor
brown in
City
this country
soul, gospel, and
is
holiday
guilty
classics
of proven
featuring an
innocent.
18-piece band, all-star
Everyone.
vocalist, and
It's just
community
circumstances.
choirs,
Now, you got a
all
little
in
bit of
support
money,
of the Black
then
LA
they can
Relief
slow it
and
down a little
Recovery
bit.
Fund.
But if
This
you ain't got no
performance
money,
comes
I'm
at
talking
a
about the
pivotal
money that they
time for
talk.
many in Altadena
You know,
and
support
Pasadena.
many
This is their
nonprofits
first
and all that
holiday
crazy
season
stuff.
since the
So it's a
devastating
lot of stuff that
Altadena
we
Eden
have to
Canyon fire,
self-educate
which
people because a
destroyed
lot of
homes
people,
and
they
community
don't got the
spaces.
education.
While the
They
physical
think they do,
losses are immense,
but they
the
don't have the
power of
education.
community remains, and
So
your
that's what we
attendance
do. We go
directly
out there
supports towards recovery, resilience, and renewal.
You know, we got a lot of projects. We did a lot of work.
Join us
I mean,
Monday, December
if you get a
15th,
chance,
7
I can
p.m.
give us a
inside
quick
the Graham
rundown because
Goldsmith
I'm putting the
Theater
newsletter
at the
out right
Wallace
now.
in
All
Beverly
the stuff
Hills
we
for
did in
Soul of the
2025.
Holidays,
Because I don't think
benefiting
people
survivors
understand.
of the
So we done went to
Altadena
Cuba.
Eagle Canyon Fire.
We done went
For
all
ticket information,
over.
just log on
And
to
that was the 30
tickets at thewallace.org. That's tickets at
30
thewallace.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580 and the Black Freedom Fund.
We done met presidents out of Chile, President Venezuela, you know, Namibia, Morocco, international interview. people over there.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding a job, training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has workforce centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The delegated spots, because it was the anniversary of the grandma too, Fidel Castro's newspaper.
Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles?
It was plugged in
because we got a lot of people you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications, conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at
I'm going at your rate. I'm a wealth of information.
Behind the scenes access.
You are a wealth of information.
No more FOMO.
It's a couple of things. One, I want to make sure. Oh wait, we're coming back.
Welcome back to BLM's This Is Not a Drill, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we're in conversation with Jamal Ibn Mumia, the son of Mumia Abu Jamal. We're talking about political prisoners. We're talking about the case of Mumia Abu Jamal. But one of the things I really, really appreciate, and we've seen this from all of our political prisoners, but especially Mumia Abu Jamal, is it's never just free Mumia. It's free Mumia and all political prisoners.
Correct.
Free Mumia and all political prisoners. Brother Jamal, when we were talking off air, one of the things that you keep reminding me of, I think I've shared with you, you know, my Baba is Hank Jones. He's the one who's guided me. He's, been a father to me for 20-something years. And one of the teachings that I take from Baba Hank is he always says that the organizers of today will be the political prisoners of tomorrow if we don't fight for them. And so we have to fight to free your dad, but also free all political prisoners, because we will be, right? That you mentioned during the break that, there's targets on all of our backs, that they don't want us around here telling the truth. We went out talking about how much the sharing of information and the teaching of truth is a threat to white supremacist capitalism, is a threat to the fascism that we see plaguing the planet. So can you just hop into that a little bit, why this work has to be done? Because it's about your father, but it's also about more than your father, Mumia Abu Jamal.
Thank you, Melina. Great question. We have to also remember, and one of our elders, Harold Taylor, a Panther as well, has told me that you work for the people. So we constantly work for the people. And our people, we protect them with proper information and defense on how to protect themselves. Because I think a lot of people forget the last part of the Black Panther Party title, the Black Panther Party for self-defense. So one of the ways you defend yourself is you know what to say if you get pulled over. And you need to keep it real brief. And you need to just say, am I being detained? Once they say yes or no, okay, I need to call a lawyer. If they say no, thank you, I don't need to talk, I'm gone. Because what happens is we always think that we were taught with manners and we being, proper and all this. They got a job to do, okay? Like you see a landlord with an apartment building, he trying to fill them buildings up. They apartment buildings is them prisons, okay? They got a job to do. They got to fill those prisons up. And guess who they like filling them up with? Black and brown. They love it because they can control the narrative. They can threaten them into all type of coercions. They can torture them. They can do all these evil things and play the ignorant game. I don't know what his problem is. He's too, he tried to attack me, and they all play on that. So when we look at Mumia, we got to look at the source of it. Mumia was giving the journalists information. What is the journalist information? It's the truth to your people. You have a duty, if you're a journalist, to report the truth. And they didn't like that. Okay. So they don't care that he's framed. They don't care that he's innocent. They want people that's going to educate our people to get out the way, because people that's ignorant is easy to gaslight. They easy to deal with emotion because they can't articulate that these people just violated them. So this is why they play that game. So what we do is, with Freedom from Frame Up, we go out and workshops. We go to local libraries. We create an educational, political educational, because it ain't just about us. Like I said before earlier, is the brother Kamal Siddiqui. It was the Imam, Jamil Alameen. All these people are in prison because of their political work and what they can do to help us. They want to keep anger. They want to keep confusion, but they don't want to keep the work. So what we say is, if you align with our views, then work with our views. But if you doing your thing and we not knocking nobody, just do your thing over there. Because we looking for the people that's not famous. We looking for the people that family and say, look, my son has been falsely accused. My son is innocent. Now we deal with things on a case-by-case basis. But at the same time, there are many of them in there like that. I knew people that I know didn't do the crime, but they were so scared to fight for themselves. They like, man, look, if I fight these people, man, they're going to give me life, or they're going to give me this, or they're going to give me that. So we are not educated properly. And that's what I miss about back in the day. Back in the day when I was young, the elders had an opportunity, but they also had a job to educate us. And now they try to, but a lot of us don't listen. And then we have times now that people out here, myself and other organizations, is trying to have these demonstrations like we're going to be out there at the BML Black Power Center. We trying to educate you. You go to all these other people's stuff and don't get no education because you looking for all this merch, or you looking for this picture with this person and this person. We trying to educate people, and we're trying to continue to do that. We have people's lives that's actually behind the wall.
Brother Jamal, we know that there's cases that we're familiar with, like your father, Mumia Abu Jamal. We're familiar with Jamil Alameen. We're familiar with Kamal Siddiqui. We're familiar with especially those political prisoners who went in during that period, who were attached to the Black Power movement. One of the things that we're also recognizing is that there's a new class of political prisoners. So people think that that's it, that political prisoners are in the past and there's a few that we still have to free. But we got to remember that political prisoners, and how we identify political prisoners, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, is not just the people who went in for a political accusation, right? It's also the people who go in and then are politicized inside the walls. So when we think about George Jackson didn't go in initially for something political other than being a black man, a young black boy, really. But it was his work within the prison that terrified the system of white supremacist capitalism. We have people inside the prisons now, like the co-founder of our Black Lives Matter prison chapter, Brother Ajamu, Jay Burton, who went in when they were 16, became politicized inside, but then become, someone who is a threat to the system of white supremacist capitalism. I really appreciate your framing, no pun intended, your framing of how things work, that it's that truth telling that's a threat to the system. So it's not just people of the past, of our parents' generations. It's also us that have to be conscious that this country makes political prisoners. Is that correct?
Yes. Okay. The takeaway and most powerful. Well, a lot of it was very informative, but you said the work. See, that's what separates any political prisoner, the work. You look at their work. A lot of people don't understand. I was out here at 19 years old. I did the longshoreman thing with a partisan defense committee, you know, out here in the bay and the shores and all of that, because they had all the unions that was fighting for Mumia, right? So it's your work that you do. And a lot of times they got compromised. So when you inside the belly of the beast, on the outside, you know, it's the work. People gonna know you by your work. All that other talk, that come and go. People can compare you. I'm talking about people that know you and people that don't know you. Because the first thing I ask is, what's the work they've been doing? You know, I need to see the work. Like a lot of times, like when we was out there in Cuba, when we were talking to people, people were saying that they thought because Assad was here, all the Black Panthers was free and all that political stuff. I said, no, America is still racist. It's still going on. That's why we out here to let you know today in real time that it's still happening. And one of the things that people overlook is the work. They think, oh, they doing that, they doing that. They don't know how it is to put a venue together. They don't know how it is to do this. So come to the workshop, come to the work, see what you can do. Because back in the day, and you have people here today that still do the work, and everybody don't need a name, a title, or nothing. Come do the work. That's how you're going to see with your own eyes what's going on. Because a lot of people sit back and they put different titles on stuff. Or they say, oh, they ain't official, or they ain't doing this and that. What you doing? What you doing? See, I go by people work. If I can just do a quick recap of what our organization did over here, and I'll just be real brief with just the titles, because it was this year, April 20th, we was at the San Jose Peace Justice
Brother
Center.
Jamal, let's go to the other side to get the recap of the organization, but also how people plug into your work. As you remind me of my grandmother, you're saying her teaching that she taught me, you just do the work and live as righteously as possible.
Correct.
Just do the work and live as righteously as possible. Don't worry about titles. That's what you're saying. Don't worry about titles. Do the work and live as righteously as possible.
What's going to come along?
There's more with Jamal Ibn Mumia right here on This Is Not a Drill. You're invited into the conversation. What work are you doing? 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580.
More of BLM's This Is Not a Drill. Up next. We got a lot to talk about.
Unwrap LA this winter with Metro. Whether you're heading to a family gathering or last-minute shopping, Metro's got you.
I thought
Enjoy
we had
free
lots
rides
of
across
time.
Metro
This
on
time
Christmas
is
Eve
going
and New
too
Year's
fast,
Eve.
but we got
no,
to
it
stay
goes
night.
fast.
Community this holiday season.
Yeah.
Go
like,
Metro.
and one thing I say is, you know, again, because that's what my dad tell me. Because I was reading books when I was
KBLA
a little
Talk
boy.
1580
You
is
know,
committed
like
to
I tell people,
self-care and
one of my
community
favorite
well-being.
poets
Walk Good LA
was
formed in
Khalil
June
Gibran
2020, inspired by the
1500.
Black Lives Matter
You know,
movement and the
I
beginning
used to read
stages of the
France for Nine,
COVID-19
Wretched of the
pandemic.
Earth, all
What
that
began
stuff.
as a few minutes
So,
of breath work and yoga
a lot of
meditation
times
before
people don't
protests
understand
against
that
police
it's actually the
brutality
work
turned into a
that
safe
goes in,
space
and
for
it
the
has to
community
be
to heal
perceivable.
in hard times.
Like,
The
you
immensely
don't need to
positive
go in
response from the
and speaking
community
like,
transformed the
you know, you a
momentum
doctor
into a
degree.
movement.
You
Today,
gotta
Walk
have
Good
this
LA is a
simple,
black and
you know,
brown-led
be able
community
to
wellness
make it
organization based in
comprehensive
Los
to people
Angeles. They
so they
provide
can be
spaces
able
for
to
healing through
implement.
community
'Cause
yoga
we deal with all
classes,
types of
guided
people. You know, we
meditations,
got people that
hikes,
deal with
run
graphic
clubs,
designs.
and other
We got people
activations
that do
throughout
mirrors.
Los Angeles
We
that
got
attract
people
hundreds
that,
of members weekly.
you know,
With the help
speeches,
of
that do
Propel and Michael B.
songwriting. You know,
Jordan, they now have a yoga
our
and
thing
wellness
is,
studio in
what
Los
did you
Angeles
do
called
for
the
the
Walk
movement?
Good Yard. To join their mailing
And
list
then
and connect
we
with
gonna
healing
find a way
spaces,
for you
please
to
visit
be acclimated.
walkgoodla.org.
You don't
That's
have to be me. You don't have to be you. But what do you do?
Or find them on
You know,
Instagram
'cause
at
some people
Walk
like,
Good
well, I'm
LA.
good at just
This
giving out
is a
literature,
community
or I'm
call to
good at
action,
speeches,
a community
or I'm
call
good
to
at
healing
graphic
KBLA
design.
Talk
You know, I'm good at,
1580.
okay, cool. That's what we need.
Right.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our
So
subscribers for their support throughout
it's
the
good.
years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles
That's
and
right.
South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our
This
subscribers.
segment is going
We
to go
provide
real
low-cost,
fast,
effective
so
ways to promote
we'll
your
do
business
the
without
recap of
reasonable
the
and affordable
organization, how
advertising
people
rates.
plug
You
in
can
to the
participate by
organization, but
suggesting, sharing,
also
and submitting
we'll
your
Then they
push
can
this
go
stories
on
to the
one out on
Instagram
California
too.
YouTube.
Crusader
They like to
newspaper
go on
community
Instagram,
share
so I just
Facebook
tell them
group page,
go to the
or
gram
visit our
at
website
Freedom
at
from Frame Up Inc.
Okay.
cal-cruise-news.com.
and
That's
also at
calcruisenews.com.
Mumia Freedom
Then click
Tour.
on the
You
Submit
can
Now
see
button
Okay.
located
all
on
the
the top
stuff
right
and all
corner
the
of the
people and the
homepage,
different
or
stuff that we
text
do.
CCN to
And we got
42828.
man, look,
Again, text
we working on
CCN to
2026
42828.
already. We
The
coming in
California
there with a
Crusader
bang.
newspaper, working together to build a better
Right.
community for our future. Subscribe today.
But I just think
Lena
people just
Bloom
need
for
to
the
know
Bail
the work.
Project.
When they
Imagine
hear
you're
it,
stuck in a jail
they can
cell
check
and
it
you can't
and see
afford
what's going
bail,
on.
and
They
someone
might know
offers
somebody
you
that
a
be
way
bandit
out.
too.
Just plead guilty, and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What
Who's
thousands have? You
coordinating the
plead
program
guilty
for Tuesday
whether
night? I'll
you
call you
are or
after
not.
this, actually.
Cash bail makes
For
poverty
Tuesday
a
night, what do
crime.
we need
That's
to
why the Bail
provide
Project
other
helps
than the
those
venue?
who
Because
can't
that's
afford
all we
it
were
or
asked for, is
fighting
the
to
venue.
encash bail, because freedom should be free.
Right.
Brought to you by the Ad
We'll
Council.
talk.
BLM's
Okay.
This Is Not a Drill continues right now.
And we're in conversation with the son of Mumia Abu Jamal, who leads the organization Freedom from Frame Up. His name is Jamal Ibn Mumia. You're invited into the conversation, 800-920-1580. We want to hear more about what Freedom from Frame Up does, and how you can plug in to that righteous work. Brother Jamal, you want to give us the overview?
Yes. Well, Freedom from Frame Up, what we do is we free those that's framed. We review cases, and of course, like my father's case, but there are other people cases. They go on a case-by-case basis, and we try to educate with workshops, and we deal with the grassroots communities, and we educate the people, but we also investigate certain cases, because certain cases, they didn't have the funding, they didn't have the proper people, and we continue to see what can go with that and get that person out. Well, we also is in the process of a few things. In 2026, we're trying to get transitional homes, because what happens when you get a person out, exoneree? A lot of times, people say, yeah, they waiting on case money. You know how long that take? Where are they going to live at? What if their family been dismantled? What if their people's died, or the people don't have the funds, or they can't stay nowhere? They become homeless for a crime that they didn't even commit. So we're trying to get transitional funding in homes, whereas though that they can do like 6 months, like a person go to a halfway house that come from the penal system. They have a halfway house to transition into society. So they can be able to do that. They can be able to get all the type of medical things that they need, like mental health or any type of medical things that they need to be able to properly function out here. Because a lot of times people is discredited. They stayed in jail all them years, and then they finally get home, and then the people can't even help them. So we're doing that. We also is connecting with different groups. We taking in volunteers. If you have any legal experience and things like that, and you can help, we're doing that. We're a nonprofit organization, and we just going to continue on the Mumia Freedom Tour. We are international, so we go to different places on the globe, and we got plans to go other places, and we also are local, and we're not just on this part and this part and this part. We believe our brothers and sisters is all throughout this country. So we're going to reach one and teach one. So I can give you a recap of what we did on 2025. And then we just started off in April 20th. We went to San Jose Peace Justice Center out there in California, the Bay Area. We also did in Oakland, the Brotherhood of Elders Network panel in Oakland. And then we went to the East Side Arts Alliance Community Center, and that was also in Oakland. And then we went to the Santa Rosa Junior College, and that was in Petaluma, right, California. And Elmhurst Branch Library Stop, that was also over there in the Bay Area in Oakland. And then we had the Mumia birthday fundraiser, that was in San Francisco. And we also on May 30th, we went to, that's why I seen you, and May 30th, June 1st, Butler University. We went out there to Indianapolis, and it was the National Black Radical Organizing Conference. And then we went to, in June, we went out there to Juneteenth to Piedmont Park in Atlanta, and we had we got us a venue, and we were out there educating the people, grassroots, and you know, hitting them up to all the people that's in, not just political prisoners, but also Black people and how we can support this. And also, we was out at the Philly Connection in San Francisco Fusion Festival, and that was out there in San Francisco, and that was with different people, Davey D, Sway in the morning. We had a lot of different people out there, and we had Emory Douglas. He was one of the artists that got an award. We also had Rakim. We was also in Cuba, October the 15th to the 20th, and we was out there at the 3rd international meeting on theoretical publications on left-wing parties and movement, and the first Grandma Festival of the 60 years of the paper that Fidel Castro started. And, you know, we were doing a lot of coverage out there. I think we did like 23 interviews internationally. We were on the local and the international news in South America. And we constantly, now we headed to Vegas on December the 8th. We're doing something out there at the Tribune Village. And we also is going to be December the 9th in Los Angeles. We're going to be at the BLM LA Black Power Center. And then on December the 11th, we're going to be out there in Silicon Valley. We're doing an End Imperialism panel, and that's going to have a few guests, Brenda Lopez from the LA's U.S. Hands Off Cuba, Pierre from the Haiti Action Committee, Donna Wallach of San Jose Peace and Justice Against War. So these are the things that we bring into political prisoners into that room again, because that's the work that we're wrapping up 2025.
And so we want to encourage everybody to come out in Los Angeles. Again, that's Tuesday night, December 9th, 6:30 p.m. at BLM LA Center for Black Power. We'll be in conversation with Jamal Ibn Mumia. So if there's anything that you heard today that you want to get more information on, but I really, really appreciate what Brother Jamal is sharing with us, because here's some points that I'm taking. One, just do the work, but two, that we can't rely on systems to free our people. Systems are set up to imprison our people. It's the people that will free our people. It's the people that will free our people. So the people here in LA and all around the world. All around the world. So, Brother Jamal, I'm grateful that you spent the hour with us. I'm grateful that we'll, inshallah, see each other on Tuesday night, and look forward to being in more conversation with you. Grateful to have been in studio with Lamika Castillo. We want to remind everybody of the words that Brother Jamal offered. Just do the work. That's also my grandma's words, do the work. You can plug in with the work. freedomfromframeup.org. freedomfromframeup.org is the website. And I just followed you on Instagram. Freedom from Frame Up Inc. is the Instagram handle. Anything in 30 seconds?
And Mumia Freedom Tour.
Mumia
That's
Freedom
on
Tour.
Yeah. And,
okay,
and
Mumia
we
Freedom
just ask people to just follow us so you can be informed of our upcoming events. And, you know, we're approachable, but at the same time, we stand on principle, you know, respect your elders, but still do the work. You know, you got to do the work.
Here's more work we want you to do. We want to remind you, it's Black Xmas. Don't you spend no money at Walmart or Target or any white supremacist corporation.
Right.
We build black, we buy black, and we bank black.
Right.
So move your money. If you got to buy something, get it from a black-led, a black business. And if you don't need to spend no money, donate to black organizations. And you can go to blackxmas.org for more. We're going to be canvassing at Walmart, telling people don't spend their money there. We're going to canvass at Fox Hills Mall tomorrow to tell people, look, you don't have to spend your money at Target here. And you can also plug in with our protest. Tuesday night we'll be at, again, listening to, engaging with Brother Jamal. Wednesday, we'll have our protest in front of the Hall of Injustice. And then our Black Lives Matter organizing meeting is next Sunday, December 14th, also at the Center for Black Power. Last quick word, Sister Lamika.
Build black, buy black, bank black.
Yes, and follow BLM Grassroots. Follow BLM Los Angeles for local work. I'm Doc Melly Mel on all social media. Grateful to be on KBLA. This is part of Building Black, right? Black-owned media, Black journalism is hugely important. That's who Brother Mumia is. Until next week, peace out, y'all.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
All right.
I'm Tammy S.
So,
with
yeah,
BIN
we
News
see you in a
Now.
couple days,
Agents
God
are in
willing.
New Orleans. Their presence has caused.
Oh, yeah. I see. It's all good. All right. Bye-bye.
All right.